At the beginning of the episode, we see that Xiaobao woke up, so Chan smiled and apologized, saying that she could not bring a birthday gift for him, and asked what he wanted. And Xiaobao wrote on his board that he wanted her to become his mother, which made Chan's eyes fill with tears, as she gently held his hands and said that if he called her mom, she would become his mother forever. But Xiaobao shook his head because he was still afraid to speak, and Xian suddenly interrupted, saying to forget it because it was useless, and that his son would never be able to speak while both pain and disappointment could be heard in his voice. And Chan looked at him without saying anything, but there was firm belief in her eyes that one day this child would definitely speak. And later when they left the house, Chan asked Xian if he could drop her on the way, but he shook his head and said no because she was still sick and needed to rest, while Chan smiled and insisted that she was fine and told him not to be stubborn. And the next day, both of them took Xiaobao outside for a walk. On the way, Xiaobao remembers that he once told his dad's friend Bingo that he wanted Chan to become his mother, and Bingo had laughed and told him that if he really wanted that, then he would first need to bring his dad and Chan closer to each other. So now, little Xiaobao was working on that same plan as he took them to a haunted house attraction and intentionally left them alone inside. But his plan completely backfired because Chan kept screaming in fear the whole time and tightly held Xian's hand while Xian could not stop laughing. Yet somewhere in his heart, a new feeling for Chan slowly began to grow, and as soon as they came outside, Xiaobao sent a message to his friend Bingo saying the plan had failed. And after some time, while they were walking toward the park, Xiaobao suddenly disappeared, which made both Chan and Xian panic badly, as Chan called his name everywhere with tears streaming from her eyes, saying, "Xiaobao's son, where are you?" While Xian also ran around in panic searching for him. And at that moment, a message from Bingo arrived saying, "Do not worry, Xiaobao is with me, and he is fine." So both of them finally breathed in relief. But just then, Chan's eyes fell toward the lake, where Xiaobao's hat was floating on the water, which made her face turn pale and her heartbeat race as she jumped into the lake without thinking, while Xian immediately jumped into the water to save her and pulled her back out while trying to calm her down by saying that Xiaobao was completely fine. And when they returned, they discovered that their car was missing and only the camping equipment was left there, which made Xian realize that Bingo had deliberately trapped them. And that night, Xian and Chan were forced to sit together and share noodles from the same bowl, but the silence between them felt strangely intense. And whenever Xian's eyes met Chan's eyes, his heart started pounding, so he nervously looked away and in irritation scolded her, saying she should not have jumped into the lake like that because she could have gotten a fever again. While Chan softly replied that she is a child psychologist, and when a child becomes her responsibility, every pain of that child feels like her own, and Xiaobao trusts her. And when he said that he wanted her to become his mother, he was not lying because children do not lie. And with a faint smile, she continued, saying that people think their job is only to play with children, but the truth is that it is far more difficult than that, after which Xian stayed silent for a moment and then asked if she truly wanted to become Xiaobao's mother. But Chan laughed and brushed the topic aside by saying no, she was only joking because his real mother must surely be somewhere. As soon as the topic of his wife comes up, Xian's expression suddenly darkens, and he immediately stops the conversation before both of them quietly return to the tent. And the next day, Chan goes to her hospital, where she unexpectedly runs into her ex-boyfriend Ji and tries to ignore him, but he blocks her path and asks how she is, while she replies in a cold voice that she is fine as long as he stays away from her. And at that moment, Ji's fiancé arrives and arrogantly says that her father, who is the director of the hospital, has made Ji the chief physician and invites Chan to attend the party that night. So that same evening, Chan buys a beautiful dress and arrives at the party where everyone is stunned by her elegance and grace, while Ji goes on stage to accept his promotion and starts giving a speech. But suddenly his fiancé grabs the microphone and humiliates Chan in front of everyone by playing a leaked video showing Chan and Xian together, which fills the hall with silence. Until at that very moment, Xian walks in through the door with his son, then climbs onto the stage, takes the microphone, and confidently says that the video means nothing because he does not want Chan as his girlfriend, which makes everyone hold their breath, before he pauses for a moment and continues by saying that he wants Chan to become his wife, leaving the entire hall shocked as he takes out a red wedding ring from his pocket and places it on Chan's finger in front of everyone. And later, after returning home, while she is taking a bath, the wedding ring accidentally slips from her hand and falls somewhere. So she and her friend Rana search the entire bathroom but cannot find it anywhere, which makes worry clearly appear on Chan's face as she mutters that the ring was very expensive and she cannot buy another one. And the next morning, Rana wakes her up in panic, telling her to get up because she and Xian are all over social media, which shocks Chan because she had no idea the situation had grown so big. And as soon as she arrives at the hospital, her breath almost stops because everyone there is pointing at her, and when she looks up, she sees huge letters written across the hospital wall about her and Xian. So she immediately pulls Xian aside and angrily angrily tells him that he should understand that all of this is wrong because that proposal was fake. But Xian's eyes become serious as he quietly replies that it was not fake, and that he truly wants to marry her, which leaves Chan silent for a moment before she coldly responds that even if he were the last man left in the world, she still would not marry him. And that same night at a bar, Rana and Bingo meet without realizing that they are closely connected to the same people. And Rana notices that Bingo is constantly trying to flirt with different women, but none of them pay attention to him. So she walks up to him playfully and stands beside him, while Bingo laughs and says that she is very interesting. And Rana smiles while saying that it is not easy for her to connect with someone. Then Bingo offers her a drink and warns her to be careful, because one glass could make her completely drunk. But in an ironic twist of fate, Bingo himself becomes heavily drunk, and Rana ends up taking him home. The next day, while Chan was walking along the street, she noticed a cat stuck in a tree, so she climbed up to rescue it. But her foot slipped and she was about to fall when someone from behind caught her, and it turned out to be her old friend, the neurologist Ningji, who smiled and asked why she always ended up in trouble while picking up the bracelet that had fallen from her wrist and returning it to her. And the moment the bracelet broke, a matching bracelet worn by Xian suddenly triggered an alert, so he immediately checked the tracker location and rushed there, where he saw Chan and Ning standing together, which made him angrily grab Ning's hand and declare that Chan was his fiancé and that they would be getting married very soon, leaving Ning speechless. And the next day at the hospital, Chan noticed that her name board had been removed from the wall, but then she saw Xian scolding the nurses who had been speaking badly about her with genuine anger and concern in his voice, which slowly began to melt Chan's heart as she thought that maybe he was not as bad as she had believed. And when she returned home, she was shocked to find her parents suddenly there scolding her for getting engaged without telling them. But Chan calmly explained that it was only an act, a drama meant to make her ex jealous, which disappointed her parents because they had hoped she would marry a rich businessman, and they said they would stay with her for a few days because they missed her. While the next day Xian came to the hospital, and by coincidence saw Ning entering, so he followed him angrily asking what he was doing there, and Ning calmly replied that he had come to return the cat that Chan had rescued from the tree. And at that moment Chan also arrived, and though she was surprised to see Xian, she ignored him and invited Ning to dinner, to which Ning happily agreed and even invited Xian as well. But Chan quickly interrupted, saying that he would not like such local restaurants. So that night Chan and Ning had dinner together while Xian secretly sat at a nearby table watching them. And Ning eventually asked whether the rumors about her and Xian were true, to which Chan smiled and said everything had already been cleared up. And honestly, he was not as bad as she once thought, when suddenly the restaurant manager announced that it was their anniversary and any couple who hugged before the music stopped would receive a 50% discount. So Ning stood up, smiling, and reached his hand toward Chan. But at that exact moment, Xian jumped up and stopped him, and the two accidentally collided and ended up hugging each other, which made the manager cheer that they were the winners of the 50% discount. Leaving Chan shocked as she asked Xian what he was doing there, while he calmly replied that he had simply come to have dinner. This is where the episode comes to an end, and to watch the next episode, make sure to subscribe to the channel and do not forget to press the bell icon.